side. It was a buzzer beater. Brandon Jennings hit it as the Pistons beat the Spurs in San Antonio 105-104. I'm Deb Carson.
We are Funkhouser.
This is the 80s Show on iHeartRadio.
Let's go. Come on, let's go. Say ho, ho. Say ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
I read something the other day about how people stick to their New Year's resolutions less now than at any given point in history. Which kind of sort of makes sense. Now, first and foremost, I believe the idea of New Year's resolutions is bunk. Set yourself one insurmountable, huge, unattainable goal once a year? No. You got to condition yourself daily to be in the state of mind where you're going to go for something. And if you just do it once a year and go, well, the last 12 months were crap, clearly I need to do something different and get better at some stuff, and you set yourself this mountain of a task, then you're definitely setting yourself up to fail. It's not a good plan. New Year's resolutions. You want to set goals, you want to do it effectively, do it more often. Don't do it when you have a birthday with a 0 at the end of it. Don't do it when it becomes January again and you go, okay, new year, new me. That's obviously hooey. But here's the thing. At no point in history have people stuck to their New Year's resolutions less. At no point in history have people bothered making New Year's resolutions less. And how about you, but do you feel like just the idea of work in general, delaying gratification, any kind of gratification that's not instant, any kind of a result that isn't instant, it's just not interesting to us, is it? I mean, we as a society live in a completely on-demand world, which, let's be real here, is really freaking handy. I mean, do you watch television the way people used to just 5 years ago? Do you go, ooh, it's 8 o'clock, time for my show, I'm going to go watch it live on TV? No. If you're a little archaic, you DVR it or you TiVo it. But what's probably happening now is you're watching it streaming on demand at your leisure when you decide to watch it. That whole appointment setting thing, that whole building your day around watching a specific show, that's gone. There was a joke on 30 Rock a little while ago where they were saying like the main project that NBC had going was an effort to build a time machine to make it 1997 all over again. Because that's when they were at their height with Friends, Frasier, and Seinfeld all in one shot. And it was just an unstoppable behemoth of people ordering their lives around these TV shows. But nobody does that anymore. Everything's instant. Everything's on demand. And everything is gratifying that second, which is cool. I mean, you know, it's great not to have to arrange yourself around NBC's schedule. You go, sorry, NBC, I'm going to do it on my schedule. And if you don't like that, ooh, I'm headed off to Netflix. And that part of it's awesome. There's no two ways about it. But the instant gratification thing that we are also fixated on, if it doesn't float our boat in the first 30 seconds, we're on to the next thing. And like most of the things that have come with the digital and technological revolution of the last 5-10 years, that's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it's great being able to have information at your fingertips. It's great being able to have entertainment at your fingertips. But we are becoming a nation of people, a world of people, that are only interested in something if it panders to us in the first 5 seconds. And that includes putting forth effort on things like New Year's resolutions. I want to lose some weight. Well, I recommend, 1 pound to 2 pounds a week for the next year. Fat ass. Oh, God, no. I've got to fit into a swimsuit by the time I go to Florida in February. Isn't there a pill I can take or something like that? What are my extreme, crazy surgical options? Can we explore those? Everybody wants everything instantly, which is why people aren't bothering to set goals anymore. And I think what we're overlooking here by wanting the instant gratification, by wanting the overnight six-pack, by wanting to get rich quick, by wanting everything right now and not being willing to go through the journey, the effort to get it. I think a big problem with that is we're forgetting the value in the process of getting what the hell it is you want. Look, say you want to make $1 million, and this is something every motivational speaker I know has trotted out at one point or another. And 9 times out of 10, when I hear a motivational speaker, I'm like, oh, this is absolute bunk. But this one always speaks to me. Let's talk about making an ass ton of money. $1 million. You want the $1 million. But what do you think is more valuable? What do you think is more intrinsically satisfying to you? Making the $1 million, having the $1 million, having it in your bank account, or becoming the type of person that can manifest $1 million in their life? Becoming the type of person that can go through the force of my will alone. I worked hard. I was smart. I had a brilliant idea. I refined that idea. I went for it. I failed along the way a couple of times. It made me smarter. It made me more interesting. And I became the type of person that could make $1 million appear in their life. I mean, for those of us without $1 million, oh, that would be me and Funkhouser. It's easy to go, I'd like the $1 million. But the real value that a lot of people are missing by wanting everything instantly, by wanting to be Kardashian style famous for doing nothing, for having a big ass and posting pictures of it on Instagram or something like that. We are missing the juice of the process of getting the things that are important to us. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Henry David Thoreaux.
Radio goes one-on-one with Jimmy Page to discuss what immediately followed the disbanding of the Yardbirds.
Well, the Yardbirds actually folded in July of '68. We are actually recording in October. I say we, the Led Zeppelin, and Robert, are recording in September, right at the end of September, and in October '68. So in between that time, from the end of July, I'm searching for a singer, and I'm looking for Terry Reid. And if you hear any of the Terry Reid stuff, you'll know exactly what way I was sort of going. Unfortunately, by the time he was located, he'd already signed a solo deal, so he was sort of out of the equation. I went to see Robert, and I invited him to come to my house to go through material. And at the time, it was under this sort of cloak of invisibility almost of the new Yardbirds.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Jimmy Page and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Mike Rutherford to discuss that even though there were generational difficulties, his father was always quite supportive.
You've got to understand, I'm sure it's the same over here, but in England, that generational change from my father's era to my era, he was the English Empire days, 2 world wars. It was hard to communicate. There was a big divide between us. It's just, there was no dialogue really. You couldn't discuss things because there was no sort of platform to share conversations on. But no, he was supportive, and in a way, given that he hadn't got a clue what I was doing, what parent did in those days, music, long hair and a guitar, he was given that. He was very supportive.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Mike Rutherford and all your favorite artists.
Hey, you, what's that sound? Coming so loud from your radio dial. AD, you getting down when you're rocking the jams. Here I am, going back once again. I'm ruling all city like a king.
So, I don't know if you've been following or not. It's kind of hard to miss it, but I think the body count is at 12 now. 12 killed in a terrorist attack at the office of a French satirical magazine. ha-has and hee-hees, political satire. 12 people dead in a terrorist attack. In the past, the magazine had been under police surveillance after threats from Muslims for publishing cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. This week's cover story was on a new fictional book about Islam, which has sparked controversy in the country. 12 people dead. We'll talk about the whys and wherefores and the implications of that and how the White House and folks like MSNBC are so quick to be like, hey, this is obviously terrible, but let's slow our roll here and not make the mistake of referring to these people as Muslims. That's not what Islam is all about. I get where you're coming from. But there comes a point where you have to go, there's the truth and there's the spin, and it's not valuable to have the spin. We need the truth in this particular situation. And if you're a new listener to the show, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but I don't believe in being left. I don't believe in being right. I believe in knowing where your own moral compass's true north is and following that. Not having knee-jerk reactions to a particular political party just because that's how you've been raised voting. Or that's who you've sworn allegiance to. I believe in free thinking. I believe that there's very little in this world that is black or white. There's a lot of gray. And in that gray is often where you're going to find the truth. And that is where we inhabit. That is the area we inhabit on this show. We look in the gray and we find the truth. And I do my very best to bring you the truth at all times. I also try and bring the left and the right together over universal truths like boobs are great and fart jokes are funny. So we'll get into jihad bombing of cartoonists a little later on in the show. Right now, though, let's check in with super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser. You can tweet him at FunkFM is where he is. You can tweet me, too, at ADSXE. Funkhouser, A, how are you? B, what's going on in the world? You sound a little sniffly, not feeling too... How did you describe it?
I feel bad. My everything hurts.
My everything hurts?
Yeah. You ever wake up and go... Uh-oh. That's me this morning. It's all in my head.
You could have taken the day off. You didn't have to come in.
Yeah, I'm not dying.
Okay.
Only half dying.
We appreciate you soldiering on for the sake of the stellar entertainment and informational qualities that we bring our literal tens of listeners. So thank you for that, Funkhouser. Appreciate you soldiering through. He says as he takes a sip of coffee, which has not yet begun to work. What's going on in the world?
Well, Kim Kardashian says she's, quote, obsessed with Kanye West.
To which Kanye West replied, join the club. That's what you and I have in common. Go on.
Will I marry you? Charlie Sheen told Kim Kardashian to go F herself on the Twitter.
Yeah. I think Kim responded saying that she'd love to F herself, but she can't because she's not black. Go on.
Kim Kardashian.
It is it's a little strange, though. Charlie Sheen usually gets along so well with whores. What else is Kim Kardashian up to these days?
I'm unfriending you. Kim Kardashian made the cover of Love magazine just 2 months after gracing the cover of Paper magazine. Remember that cover?
Right. Yeah, it would be pretty impressive if those were actual magazines. Did anybody actually go out and buy a copy of Paper magazine? No. We just looked at the pictures of Kim's ginormous, greasy butt online. There was absolutely no reason to go out and buy Paper magazine. And if you hadn't said Paper magazine just now, I would have had no idea that that's what that was for. I would have just been like, oh, remember those greasy pictures of Kim Kardashian's butt that were clearly photoshopped? Yeah. Oh, that was in a magazine? It was called Paper? No idea. Oh, archaic institutions of publishing that involve ink and paper. Go on.
Well, Nicolas Cage has a birthday today.
Yep. Today is Nicolas Cage's birthday. His party is expected to be a huge success, mostly because it's not one of his movies. Did you ever see...
Make sure you guys pay your taxes there.
Yeah. Did you ever see... Nicolas Cage was like... He was very close to playing Superman. Did you ever see the pictures of him as Superman? Did you really just? No, definitely not. Like the fact.